Okay, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Whoa.
back in the saddle, ready to talk about
We just watched.
kind of
Padmaavat, did I say that right? Hopefully I did.
Padmaavat, something like
Yep.
that. So
With two A's.
Padmaavat, yes.
I think
Yep.
that sounds right.
Padmaavat? Yeah, I think we got it. Because they said it during the movie when they were saying her name.
Right.
They were like, Padmaavat.
Welcome,
So-
guys. So, subscribe to our Patreon as well as see the full
check
reaction
us
of our
out. You'll
of
be
our
able to see
reviews.
the full reaction
Yes.
to Padmaavat over on our Patreon.
Link is in the description to check it out. Please do. And we have a lot of voting on there right now, too. 'cause
Yes.
We were talking about this beforehand. We're looking at potentially a
TV
show.
shows, yep.
So let us
we're gonna
know.
have our Patreons vote on the TV
and
shows.
we're gonna take that real
And
seriously.
we're already going to select the shows, right?
Well,
so it's a
Well, by this time
We want
it'll
to
be
know.
the vote will be.
Will it
coming
have
up pretty
happened?
soon.
Okay,
it'll be right.
So
after
get out
that,
there
fair
and,
enough.
and yeah,
Yep.
but we're taking this seriously because this is a big commitment for a show, so we want to make sure
Yeah.
are
It
time.
needs to
the
be
cream of the
needs
crop.
To be good.
Exactly,
Yep.
exactly. But we're here. We're reviewing
Yeah, Padmaavat. Yeah.
Padmaavat. So
Wow.
yeah.
I mean, lots to
Interesting.
talk about. There's lots to go over because there was a interesting ending that we weren't
I
expecting.
would say so. I mean,
and
holy
lots in between.
cow.
There's a lot of other
exactly.
stuff in between.
Let's
Where do we want to start, guys?
Where do we start?
Well, I think honestly that it was a very interesting movie. It was very interesting. I was saying this in the reaction to go check that out. It's very fun to see a period piece. You know, it's interesting to see an Indian movie in a period drama. I think it's probably harder to do. Their budgets probably aren't as big as ours, and so I think that's probably a pretty hard thing to accomplish.
Yeah.
And I thought they did it well with
I
the
thought so,
epicness
too,
of the
yeah.
landscapes and stuff like that.
Yeah, they really the set design, the costume design was incredible.
The dresses were
Lots of those hoop
Crazy.
rings and stuff.
The nose
oh my
rings.
gosh,
Oh my word.
yeah.
Well, let's go. Clutch it up.
Yeah,
So-
every different scene there'd be a new nose ring on the women
Isn't
would
that
be wearing a new
bananas?
nose
Yeah,
ring.
we were looking at the sizes
Yeah.
too. They were enormous.
I
at
know,
points.
there's some huge ones. We were like, they just kept getting bigger as the movie went on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually heard that they did spend a lot of money on the sets for this movie.
Okay.
And it's,
which makes sense.
Yes.
You can
if
see
you
that.
translate
And-
12
I'm glad 'cause-
translate it to US dollars. It's,
yeah, I have it
something
right
about-
here. It says it was production budget was $26 million.
$26 million
For
dollars.
US dollars.
Okay,
180
that's up there
crores.
with
Oh my
a
gosh.
lot of US.
It is one of the most expensive Indian films ever made.
Really? Okay,
Makes sense.
interesting.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Yep.
26 million. That is a lot. You know, you
Yeah.
could get 26 million Patreon subscribers because it starts at $1.
Yes,
US
nice
dollars.
little transition there.
That is crazy.
Yeah,
though,
$1.
26 million. But you can totally see that. Like even every single set piece was really good and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
And
Yeah, I
even though they did use CGI
Right.
in
The-
some
the
shots,
only
it was
thing-
pretty seamless. Like there was
Yeah,
nothing that
I
stood
thought so,
out to you
too.
as like, oh man,
It was
this
nice.
is-
Like the cities that
really
were
out
far
there.
off in the distance, they kind of
They tried
kind
to
of
blend
blurred it
them
out
in,
with
yeah.
the dust and stuff
Yes,
to make it look
which
real.
is really
which
smart.
is good.
Which is
Yeah.
what you do. And Lord of the
Yes.
Rings did that a lot too.
Yep.
When they had they knew they didn't have the best CGI at that time,
Yep.
so they
Right.
worked with what they had to
Well, they had
make
miniatures a lot.
And then
though,
who
too.
knows?
That's
they may have
true.
used miniatures in this too. It was
Maybe
really
I don't know,
good.
but even like
Yep.
with like the Oliphant shots and stuff
Yeah,
like that, they
yeah.
did the same similar thing where they masked it in like dust and stuff
Yep.
like that, just to make it a little bit more.
like
which is
look
smart.
a little bit more
Yeah.
real. Like, oh, this is happening. Like this
Right.
is out in the desert
Right.
basically. And,
Right.
Yeah.
so that was. I thought the production design was great. What did you guys think of the characters? So, like
characters
the
and
two
story.
kings, the
I thought
there was a lot of
what's his name? I called him
Oh, yeah,
Oakenshield.
let's
I
get
call
there.
him.
Oh, yeah,
Thorin.
so-
Aladdin.
So-
Let's just call
Aladdin.
him Aladdin.
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 I thought that guy was
Aladdin.
really good.
Aladdin.
I think
He
he
was
was actually.
really
Ron
campy and
Ranveer
good.
Singh.
I
is
liked
the
him. I'll
actor's
say this:
name.
I liked him a lot more than I liked the main guy.
Mm,
I really
Yeah.
thought.
Well, and
this
that's
main
gonna.
guy-
We might be getting some comments because there's a controversy over how those two characters were portrayed. Because the main guy,
Well,
the
right.
good guy,
I'm just
was,
saying it from
yeah.
a third party.
No.
what
I'm
I
just
thought
saying,
of the acting,
yeah. acting
again,
wise,
guys,
yes.
we don't
yes.
know all the cultural aspects, so
Yep.
we're learning a lot as we go. But I'll just
Yep.
say from an acting perspective, I thought that guy, I think Ben mentioned it first in the react, but it was like you could tell he was really going hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He went all in.
The acting was really
Which
good.
I thought was good. I thought
was
that's
good,
like
yeah.
unique for this type of movie. Like, villains are always hard to portray, but I think him doing it the way he did, like the decision he made on it was a pretty good decision.
Yeah, he was simultaneously prideful and then also
kind of crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
I liked that though. I liked it
Yep.
wasn't just like it was like he like that one part where he was just like staring off in the distance and like, "Sir." He was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Like
when
that
he was
I
on
thought
the throne, like, and
right.
then he had some interesting scenes, and like he wasn't just a one-tone actor. Like he would go out of his way to like just really act, and like how he like when he was like eating the food that one time, and like
he went all in.
would just go all in on like just smaller scenes too.
Right.
It's like, okay, you could
Right.
easily just
exactly
not even try in this scene, but instead he tried like.
Whereas
every little
I
thing.
felt a lot in the opposite of that. I felt the main guy,
the
love interest, I thought he didn't do
his
much.
name.
I feel like he didn't really add anything unique.
Shahi
He was
Kapoor
pretty
was-
standard in terms of
He
a
was just
role.
very somber and like just stare at at Padmaavat. What is
Padmaavat?
it? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Padmaavat.
gotta say,
with
I
his
thought-
big eyes.
I thought
and
that
her
was
with her big eyes, and they just longingly gaze for quite a while.
yeah, I thought that was
They have beautiful
so
eyes.
Funny.
Let's just say
They
that.
do. Their
They do.
eyeballs are beautiful.
I thought it was so funny when he would zone out and like just be like looking, and then for like 5 to 10 seconds it would just show his face.
I
It's
would be
like,
interested to know how much dialogue do you think he even had?
No, not
he
too
was,
much.
like-
yeah.
But
And on the look, he was just like, oh.
I mean, he delivered his dialogue all right. I think.
I think
Actually.
so. Yeah.
So it's not like a big negative. It's
Right,
just kind of
right.
like, oh, he was fairly
Mhm.
good.
Mhm.
And I think we can say that about all the characters. They did a good job in terms of the acting.
What their roles were for.
Yeah, I think
so.
I think so
Yeah.
too. I just
Nobody
think the
was-
and I
standout
like-
was the bad.
I
guy.
think so
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
and
just
I
went
thought
all out,
Padmaavat he was really.
Oh, she
good.
was really queenly.
she was
very,
yes,
very,
especially
very
at
somber.
near the end there with her like final speech at the end. Like that was really powerful. Well, yeah, like right before
We'll
everything
discuss.
happened.
We'll discuss the
But
ending.
yeah, but I thought her acting was really.
We're just
good.
kind of giving overviews of you guys
Yeah.
for now, and then we'll dive in more about the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought she
Yeah.
was good.
She
What did you
was
guys?
really good.
What did you guys think about the story or the plot construction in terms of how it flowed and how the story progressed? Because I felt like
I'll say before you say, I think that is where there was an issue.
okay.
I think that in terms of a story, they could have tightened up parts. I think they could.
Yeah,
I think they
I
could have
agree,
cut out
I agree.
complete sections
Yep.
that wouldn't have hurt the. Like there was a part I can't remember
when they were putting red powder all over each other and stuff.
Oh, well, that was great. That was lustful.
Michael
No.
was like, that 10 minutes was good.
Well, there was just parts though. I thought that you could have told this story a lot quicker.
Yeah.
I think is the
Sure.
takeaway.
And there were a
Yeah.
couple strange decisions made that it's like, well, you didn't have to do that. You could have just skipped forward to this and get to the point. And
Are you talking about the love at the beginning?
Well, not necessarily that, but
romance
even
arc,
in the
or-
battle choices.
Right.
Because they were just chilling for, 6 months or something? That was a very long, drawn out.
Yeah.
And they could have made a decision to do something earlier.
Yeah, they could have done something quicker. You're right. Yeah,
But-
it was weird how it was like, let's just wait them out 6 months, and it's
Yeah.
you know
It's
that-
a 2 hour,
they did
45
spend their
minute
time on
movie
that.
again. I feel
Yeah.
like it could be 2.5 hours or something.
I agree. I even think less. I think there was some. I think you could have cut out most of that. I think there's just a certain level of plot progression that I think was missing. They kind of extended parts that they just didn't need to extend. It didn't move the plot, and it didn't do anything.
Right.
Yep, that's true.
You
I
throw
agree with
some
that,
powder
yeah.
every now and then. That's fine.
Yeah.
But like you cut out some of the. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I. Thought.
And they showed 2 festivals, which were really
That was
beautiful
cool.
once they...
That's
the
what I thought
Festival
was
of
fun.
Lights, which was awesome,
That was
because
awesome.
then the lights were just lighting up that entire courtyard with the pool.
Yes,
beautiful,
the
and
pools
then
were cool. I mean, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
man,
And then
this
the
sounds-
Festival of Colors to finish
Right.
off.
Yeah.
That was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
That was
Yeah.
amazing.
To show the passage of time, it's like, oh, let's just do this a little more uniquely in displaying that. And so wow, that a lot of times.
Totally agree. Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, I thought it was nice.
That was
I think, guys, if you're listening right now and you're like, what's going on? We're with bated breath wanting to talk about the ending. You know, we kind of want to get into the juice of it.
Before we get in the ending, though, I feel like before the ending, I was like, okay, this is pretty generic, a little bit cheesy.
Yes.
But beautiful to look at.
Yes.
Beautiful actors and actresses or whatever. Like, just everything is just eye candy, basically.
Everyone is eye candy.
Wow, that's a little hard.
Oh, put that on a t-shirt.
No,
oh my god.
But everyone did. It was just like, it was fun to take in.
Right, yeah.
But nothing like beyond that. But then the ending,
and
now we can go in. I was kind of like, holy cow.
I thought the ending definitely added more depth to the movie.
It did, which couldn't be negative or positive.
Right. I thought it added way more actual depth to this movie, where it was much more just a romance, right? It was just really a romance arc.
It was kind of standard in how it went back and forth, because
everything,
all the story beats kind of followed what you would expect.
She
kind of rescues him.
Yeah.
I mean, they go back and forth. She rescues him at the end, but then
that's
when
the ending changed the game.
And man, I don't know what to think of that
we
ending.
can briefly summarize.
Do we go into it? Here's my theory, and I want to hear you guys in the comments. It's gonna be worse. I think a lot of this movie, not just the ending, I think a lot of this movie is an analogy to how some people in India feel about the Muslims kind of encroaching into India.
Oh, okay.
That's what I think it is.
Okay.
Think about it. The whole movie is about the Hindus.
Versus
and then the Muslims. Like, their flag is so obviously Muslim. It's just like...
and that's...
It's clearly
That's
Muslim.
what I was talking about with the controversy, because
they
made the Muslim guy, the bad guy, look really bad, and then the Hindu guy was
but my point, though, and again, not casting judgment on anything, I think this movie... That's my theory, is that this movie is an analogy of kind of how they feel in India right now.
Right now, or
how
in
do you?
Well, I think in the making of this movie, I think the creator obviously had a tilt.
There's definitely
the creator obviously doesn't like Muslims. I mean,
that's.
It's like, I mean, it's kind of the classic, like
how it felt. Yeah,
definitely how it felt. At least looking at it from my perspective, it looks like their villain in this movie was the Muslim idea.
Yep. Well, and that's why there's a split in the ratings, because there's 1 stars and 10 stars.
That's why I think this movie is deep. I think this has much more depth, because if you start thinking about certain scenes again with that kind of framework, it's interesting to examine, because it seems like, okay, maybe that's why they chose to do it this way, kind of a thing. So I don't know.
Did they dwell on any religion-based? I'm just trying to think now.
Well, the festival, they showed a lot of the
the
Hindi festival.
I felt like, for me, when watching it was like watching even though it was based on a poem and not a true story, right?
Right.
It felt like watching a historical movie-ish. But I suppose
that ending, though, I heard. I mean, that's definitely
what does that have?
That definitely
to do
was
with
a thing,
versus...
like where
but that's kind of the thing, though, is that it's always been that battle.
They're barbarian, like so it's it's basically like. Okay.
Right.
And I mean, we don't know everything, but
that's interesting hearing after that. This is how a lot of people viewed it.
Let us know in the comments.
As a viewer, initial viewer, that went over my head.
Well, for me, a lot of it too. But then thinking about it and like really thinking about because you could kind of feel like, oh, this is kind of Muslim. They have mosques in this area and this, But when you look at the ending and how like stark that ending is, I feel like that is a message in a way.
Yeah.
I feel like that's more of a... I don't know, though, guys. I mean, I could be wrong.
I mean,
again,
this is just us.
Like we're foreigners. We don't know what the heck
we're foreigners.
This is just how I view this movie.
I
think, too, like, it just felt like it was very stark, and that's my theory.
Well... And I guess I heard during filming there was lots of protests and also the sets were kind of destroyed at some points because
of the portrayal of Muslims.
Yes, and there were a few other things I'm seeing in the on the Wikipedia here for it, but there were definitely protests when this film was being made. So I mean, you're definitely on the right track where it was like.
It clearly was.
There was definitely some people who didn't want this film out there.
Well, for sure. To me, it just felt like that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, let's move. We can talk about the ending now a little more. But like,
we're already in the ending.
I guess. Yeah. But like,
so what is it called? The terminology for what they?
It's
Suti.
Suti.
Okay.
So what's funny is we saw immediately in the start of the movie that says, "Hey, this disclaimer, something about Suti. This is not recommended or whatever."
Sruti, I think it's.
Hold
at the
on,
beginning. Look up SRUTI.
I thought I saw.
But the funny thing is,
it's Jahar is the actual.
Okay.
Like the tradition of doing that, yeah.
Okay.
But there's other names for it, so I'm sure. I think they did.
Well, regardless, it was funny because we saw that and we I think we all put it out of our minds, and then
I think so too. I mean, honestly, I was not. So I thought when that disclaimer came on, there's a lot of disclaimers in these movies that are like, we don't hurt animals, yada yada yada. So for me, when I saw that, and then I started hearing them talk about it like midway through, they mentioned it one time, and I was like, oh, that's why they had the disclaimer.
Yeah,
and I kind of checked it out.
That's what I. Yep.
You know, I was like, oh, okay, they were thinking about it, and that's why they said that they may be illegal. That's literally, and then
didn't the queen or the mother say that? And she's like, oh, let's
jump on the pyre or something.
We're like, oh, that they were just talking about it.
But holy
cow.
Yeah, to set the tone. I mean, so what's interesting is the battle just occurs, which. We got to highlight the cool one-on-one battle.
Oh yes,
that was wasn't it?
Check out our full reaction.
It was one shot.
Our immediate reaction to that. It was amazing.
Yes.
Like that, the way that was filmed.
Oh. Yes, it was one sequence. They cut a couple times, but they kept it. There was long, like 1 minute, 2 minute long takes.
Yep.
In
just
between,
back and forth.
So
no music,
done.
just the clashing of swords.
It felt pretty real, like. You know, sometimes it's like, oh, there's cheese. Like the overall battle scenes, I wouldn't say were that great. Like in terms of
epic,
the big, like wide scale, maybe not so great. But the individual, I thought the actors were giving it their all, and you could like feel it more. So I thought that was pretty well done. So that sets the tone where he dies, and then by some, schemery. I mean, that's not accepted in typical.
Right. In that way, they also,
So they kill the main character.
Which makes me also,
really
again, analogous kind of, in my mind, to the creator on Muslim versus Hindu, where that guy was clearly like a schemer, in a way, kind of lying, and so I think I can totally see why people were upset.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I thought that was really cool. I thought that sequence was awesome. And like when he died.
So the expected thing would be he like I was thinking that somehow they'd come out on top in the end and the king would survive and destroy the bag. I mean, that's the most typical.
Yep.
The second one I expected was, okay, so he does die.
Yep.
Then the lady would they would fight somehow. The battle would fight. The battle would go on.
I thought
the women would come out
warriors,
and like somehow
I wanted that.
somehow the queen would like slit his throat or something at the very end, and then victory is ours.
Yeah,
that is not what happened. Which I always like subverting expectations in movies.
Definitely, even we did not see that coming.
Subverting of the expectations is highly questionable.
I really liked that they did that in the ending because I was not expecting it at all. I was so shocked. I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Because they talk about it, and then there's not happening.
It's like, no, wait. The whole time they were starting to like walk towards the fire, I was like, this is not going to happen.
I was like,
somebody's
what's it called?
Save
Ex Machina is going to come in and save it.
Yeah, but it didn't happen, and
and it's just so interesting because
old AF, bro.
Don't they describe like while they're talking about it as the women together? Don't they say like, we don't want to be taken advantage of by these monsters?
Yep. Right.
And it's like it's really hard. Then it's a moral dilemma because suicide is never the answer. Right. Can't you just fight try to die honorably, but the question is, would you be able to die honorably?
Well, right, I know.
Yeah.
And it is an interesting, it's like, oh man, that would be, what are their fates worse than death? And that's like the age-old question.
Right, yeah. Let us know what you guys think of that.
Yeah, let us know what you guys think of that ending.
Holy
Yeah,
cow.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was hard to watch, but then in a way they were, I don't know, it's hard to say, like,
here's a perspective. I actually
in a
talked
way,
to my
but
wife
then,
after this movie was over. I talked to my wife and I was like, guess what happened at the end of this movie? And I was telling her, like, basically the plot, the ending plot, how, like, the army get lost and then they were going to take over the city and then all the women just burn themselves.
Yeah.
And Sadie, my wife, sorry Sadie, my wife was just like, that makes sense. She was just straight up
in
like,
the context of that time, or
she just said that makes
like,
sense.
Just makes sense.
Like, she's like, yeah, I get it. She's like,
I
you
know
don't
it's
want to
really
be
hard.
taken, you don't want to become a slave to these,
And that's what they would have become. I mean,
right.
There's
So
no
it's
way they
like,
would've gone.
dang.
That's really
From hearing it from her perspective, I was like, okay, all right, wow,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
I know.
It's
What the heck do you
hard
do
to
with that?
Take a
I
side.
know.
I don't think you can. I mean, I don't even
You
think you can
can't,
take a
'cause
moral
there's-
side because there's no real moral right to it.
Yeah, there's negatives and, well,
Yeah,
there's
I think it,
negatives
like,
of both,
yeah, it's-
both sides.
I don't
Is
think there
it
is a
above
right.
suicide? And like that's the thing when you're killing yourself.
Right,
Yeah,
but it's common in like Japanese cultures.
Well, right. I was talking about that in the reaction. Like,
Yeah, check out-
seppuku, I believe. I can't remember what the terminology is.
Right, where you fall on your sword.
Yeah, when you fall on your sword.
Right.
Rather than.
But then the argument will be if they're going to stand and fight and they know they're going to lose, isn't that theoretically suicide in a way? I mean, but like, I mean,
That's It's
what
true. It's like
define what suicide would be? Is it I'm going to go out?
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
like
people
the ball
say
of
suicide
fire.
missions all the time.
Right.
Yeah,
But then isn't that suicide? I mean,
Right.
theoretically, like it's like okay, you're probably going to die in this mission. It's like
Mm-hmm.
okay, I don't know. I don't. It's
tough.
Yeah, that's
Like
really
I'm more
hard
leaning
to...
on the like give yourself like.
I am
don't
too.
know.
I mean, of course, but it's also like I understand from just hearing from Sadie, like if she's like
right
yeah,
as a
gal, my wife's a gal, and she was like, yeah, that's what she said, and I was like, interesting. So
yeah, I mean, wow.
this is what I really like about this movie is that it left you with that, and we're never gonna forget that.
No,
Isn't that
it was an
crazy?
interesting way.
A lot of movies
that
you forget. That one
really
choice
changed the movie.
you will remember.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
And which is why it went from like a pretty entertaining movie, like
Right.
but like honestly, I rated the first Bahubali 3 or something
right,
like that,
something like that.
because it's pretty visually entertaining
Right.
or what. But this went from that to hey, this is actually like I'm gonna rate it higher because it made me think.
I agree.
Yeah.
Same.
Anytime you
Or-
incorporate depth, it's it's wonderful.
Yep.
Yeah, and the question is it like, and some people would probably argue like a cheap way to obtain depth or something like that. But it's
Sure.
like I don't know. Within the context of the situation, does it make sense? I mean, to them at least.
We're having
yes.
a good discussion too.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's the thing.
Yeah, and I remember. Yeah, at the end there, he never did see her face. Like I forgot about that.
And that was like denying him the pleasure of.
Which
seeing
was I
his-
like how they added that, where it's like, oh yeah, he never saw her face fully. I mean, there was that one scene where she kind of had like a dust or that whatever that vapor or whatever was in front of her face.
But
so
he
it
even
didn't really
said
show.
like I couldn't see her
Yeah,
face.
he's like, oh, well, and it was like 5 seconds, But that was I like how they did that because she didn't turn around.
Nope.
Nothing. It was like she just went, straight ahead, didn't even look back, and it's. But yeah, it's hard to.
I know.
It's hard to talk about that last scene.
Wow.
Because it just, it's hard to watch.
I know. But man,
I don't know what else to
yeah.
say.
What
It was just
a decision.
Yeah, it was an interesting.
And I totally agree with that too.
filming
Like the movie
direction.
as a whole, throughout the movie, I'm like, okay, this is pretty standard, But the ending really was like, wow, this changed the way I look at this
Something
movie.
I've never seen.
And what did you
in
think
a
about the
movie.
statecraft? Because I feel like Bahubali 2 did a better job of like the political
I thought-
intrigue.
Yeah.
'Cause this was
and
fairly simple,
and some of the
like-
battles.
Mhm.
were-
Yeah,
were
and
better
the
in
battles.
Bahubali.
Bahubali 2 was I feel a fairly large upgrade.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is, this one just had pretty generic.
I think I would put it in the middle. I think I would put it like Bahubali, then
Yes,
this one,
I agree.
And then Bahubali 2. Probably, you know, like in terms of
like so I'm gonna when we tell our ratings,
right. In a bit we will get to it, but But
what did you guys? So I don't know if we want to divert from the ending.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
What did you guys think of the bisexual? Right hand man.
They definitely hinted at that quite a bit.
I think they definitely
didn't talk about it in the reviews.
That he was bisexual.
Yeah.
Well, and that
with the director, or just
that
people?
the king
just
was also
the
king was also like kind of.
So
bisexual.
again, I'm gonna circle this back to what my theory is on this movie, because I think the whole point of this movie is to show how, and I don't. Right, guys? Okay, this is how I think that they're doing this movie, okay? Yeah. I think that the point was because the Hinduists never deviated from their beliefs, okay? They never... He was honorable to the very end. He didn't do anything wrong. He did all his religion. Whereas the Muslim is hanging out with a bisexual guy. He eats raw meat, which you're not supposed to in Muslims. Remember, he's like snarfing all this food down. They're killing people. They're like doing this kind of a thing, which is kind of being hypocritical. I think they're trying to. The argument I think is trying to be made that the Muslims, while under the thought of being good, are being hypocritical. Yeah.
And what's interesting is that's the first Indian movie. I think that one of the first Indian movies that has representation of a different, like bisexual or anything like that we've seen.
But I think it was meant to make them look more evil.
Interesting.
I'm throwing a lot out there, guys. Let me know. I don't know though. I mean, he's the villain's sidekick. You know, it's like they can't really. I mean, they're not necessarily portraying it in a.
Who knows? Yeah, we have to look into what the director has said about that. But I'm sure. Yeah.
I mean, clearly the guy was something.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We can definitely tell.
Something.
The one, what was that? When he like licked the
was a crazy
food
scene.
Off his hand.
Guys, there was lots of scenes that I was like, wow. This whole movie, by the way, we were saying that in a review. The whole movie was very sultry and and
it was sensual, but it never. There was nothing even close to being shown,
but it felt sensual.
The amount of the looks that were given and like the oh my gosh,
there were quite a few.
The whole movie was just like looking at each other. Like, even like the Muslim guy and the Hindu guy, they were like looking at each other, like the two leaders, you know.
Oh yeah, sultry looks. What's
going on?
Yo.
But I think acting overall, characters were interesting.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah. So
and
I wouldn't say it's entirely a romance.
No,
I would say it's almost like a historical epic drama.
Oh it was a romance, but I agree. It wasn't
entirely focused on
it. Right. Are you guys a little nervous at all, or what's going on? You guys are both like
I got my arms crossed.
Is that
well, I'm ready to give my rating.
Okay.
I'm interested to hear what you guys
I am too.
Say.
I don't know.
How do we do that? We should establish that actually.
We should get a rule system going.
We did. Whatever we did last time was fine. What we give our rating our specific rating all at the same time, right?
Okay. Yep. Well, we can. I think do it that way.
Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
3.5. Okay.
I thought I heard someone say 2.5, and I like
in my mind I was like, everyone's gonna do 3.5.
Yeah, exactly. I think
we log it in the letter. Guys, check out Letterboxd. That's what we use for our ratings.
Yeah, I thought overall, definitely a decent movie, and like how the filming. You gotta give them something for the filming and the cinematography, and the acting was good.
Absolutely.
So it like all those combined, and the way and honestly, for me, that's definitely.
I thought the ending was a real plus too, because it subverted my expectations. It did not do what I thought it was going to do, and I like a movie that does that.
Yeah, and I mean, even before that, the final scene, like with the Hindu king dying, like that was that also I did not expect. Like they just kept the twist kept coming, and I like how they did
not
that.
only the king not dying, but the bad guy not dying.
Oh yeah,
at the end,
bad guy not dying.
Even though they did the whole killing themselves thing, outside of that bad guy didn't die.
Yep.
So you're like, whoa! It was kind of an anti-ending, which happens a lot, but it's great because it's like you're surprised. You're like, what
you're like, wait, is this is how it's ending? And then when the credits came on, we're like, what? It ended this way. Wow, yeah. But yeah, overall, a really interesting.
Yeah,
film.
It's got a lot of cheesy elements, I would say.
Especially the first half,
which is what brought it down
the first half,
because
it was pretty hard to get into initially because they did spend their time on
pretty goofy.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of, and this happens a lot in these movies. I'm not a fan of that like 5-minute love montage that happens where it's like meets the girl, hey, how's it going?
That was really
they did that. They did do that.
This movie had it though, where it was like he got shot.
Kind of like in Bahubali.
That was really cheesy.
I know exactly. It's like that thing where
that's the style like of they meet and then they're immediately in love and and when she shot him in the forest at the very beginning and he's like he said some cheesy line and we're like okay. But I mean,
and that's what I think that what you could do instead of that is you could just have them already in a relationship. There's no, I don't really think it. Yeah, I mean, just to save. I guess because
their relationship as married was pretty.
Yeah,
good.
Unless you if you really want to go into their romance as an arc, I don't think you need the beginning of it per se. I mean, I don't know.
If you're gonna do their romance, just take your time with it and establish
and
how
include
they
it
in the story.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway,
before we end though, hold on. We have a few things to talk about. We saw a few other movies while we were gone in Colorado. We were gone for a long time. By the way,
these boys took
we took a trip to Colorado, had many adventures.
That's true.
But I just want to quick mention a few. One is we rewatched Barfy with our parents, with the whole fam.
And got Mama.
And we got Mama loving it.
Mama loved it. Let's
really
go. The barf.
Yes.
Let's go.
And my dad loved it too. And like he doesn't like dramas quite as much, but it was just such a fun film all around.
It really was.
They all
really
loved
touched
it. My
the heart.
sister loved it. And they really like the themes presented in the movie and like how like the representation of the autistic girl and all that. And they thought the acting was great on her part. Yeah. So anyway, my parents loved it.
That's awesome.
We'll have to get my mom on here for a brief
guys, leave a like if you want.
Yeah, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, if you want their mama to hop on the
and
show.
Your mom, get your mom.
My
on
mom.
The two moms on a Mother's Day is already.
Should we
passed.
have a Mother's Day podcast?
Oh yeah, get their review.
Let us know, guys. Leave a comment.
Yeah.
Please comment, guys. We need more.
That could be a good Patreon episode.
I like that even better. Only
special.
The Patreons can see it.
Okay. Get some special access.
I love it.
For the Patreon.
All right.
Members.
Yes. But okay. Any other movies?
But we also saw Dumb and Dumber, which is yes, because we went to the Stanley Hotel, which is where Dumb and Dumber was filmed at.
Oh, maybe it is.
Some of the scenes, and I thought there were some really funny parts. You've seen it, right? Or no?
I'm not going to say a movie called Dumb and Dumber.
Okay, here's the thing. It's not quite as dumb as you
That's what your rating showed. I saw you guys on Letterboxd.
So the first one, I've heard the second, third are terrible. But the first one, it was decent. It had
I did. Yeah,
I rated 3.5. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I was laughing quite a bit. Jim Carrey is hilarious in this movie.
And Jeff Daniels.
Like their personalities clash in a weird way. Yeah.
There's some really, really genuinely gut-busting.
Yeah.
And it's been a while since I've laughed.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
A couple scenes are just there's a lot of silly
so
stuff.
improv and
but there's some really good scenes.
How they film it.
I'm shocked because just from the marketing, it looks
so
dumb.
Just really dumb.
And that's why I've never seen it because I just look at the marketing and I'm like, pass.
No, I want to show it to. I think some.
Oh yeah, we gotta see it someday. Yeah.
It's
the John and Nick should see it too. Our roommates.
Yeah.
But there were definitely some
really inappropriate
stupid
things.
jokes that were like inappropriate just to be
that weren't even
inappropriate.
funny,
That weren't funny
Sure.
at all. But other than that, that wasn't the majority of the film. It was a lot of it. They had a lot of
Wow,
good jokes.
I'm honestly quite shocked because
Yeah.
it looked really dumb.
Yeah, I mean, from the
there's a
the
degree of dumbness,
clips and
but
stuff
yes,
I've seen.
it was
But
pretty funny.
Right.
it was better than I thought it would be.
Oh, any other movies you guys saw?
We saw. Well, we saw Inside Man, which was an average action film. I wouldn't say that's a good one. Denzel Washington's in that one.
Okay.
We saw Guardians 3, which it was better than better than Ant-Man for sure, because we hated Ant-Man.
Right. Yeah.
But it's probably going to be the last like relatively good Marvel movie, because that was James Gunn's last Marvel film. He's off to DC
hiatus
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was kind of holding Marvel together. And so now that he's out, like, it looks like the upcoming Marvel films look so trashy.
Yep.
The Marvels, like, I don't even know they're planned for the next Avengers movie. Oh yeah,
like,
Michael's like, I predicted this years ago.
Did.
Yeah, you kind of did. You were out right after
have
Endgame.
audio footage.
Check out our podcast like 2 years ago.
I
3
said
years
that.
ago.
And
I don't think you've
Michael was
watched
out.
like one since that time.
I watched
Or, like,
Doctor
maybe-
Strange
yeah.
by force, but other than that, I don't think I have. But I mean, the thing is, and this is what I think it is, Marvel did an amazing job. It was basically the first of its kind to make multiple franchises come together in so many movies, have individual characters movies, and then combine them in an ensemble movie.
Yep.
Has never happened.
Nothing
really?
like it.
Nothing like it. The appeal, and then building that up to
There's
a
nothing
villain.
like those first two
Yep.
But
phases.
now the appeal's over because it's done, and
They've
that's
done
the
it.
thing.
They've
They need to find something new to really try to do something unique with movies, because it's like having like 5 separate movies combining into one. That's a unique concept.
Yep.
Try something
Now
else.
try
Maybe do something
mix
else.
it up. Yeah, that's true.
I don't know what you have to do in order to do that, but do something. Figure it out. You know.
Yep.
And you like Guardians of the Galaxy.
I did, yes,
Good.
but I think
Did you not?
I liked it. I realized I would have probably rounded up to 3.5.
What did you give it?
I think that's what I gave it.
Okay,
3.5.
so it's actually like watching
it was a good send off for the
got
Guardians, because it was its own standalone film. They didn't really bring in tons of other Marvel characters from other movies, and I mean the villain was actually developed a lot better than in Ant-Man and
But that
Thor,
guy's the
Love and
arc villain,
Thunder.
I think, right? The
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man guy.
No, it's not that guy.
No, he's a
Quantumania
different
guy?
guy. He's actually, I guess he's What is he from? Is he
I
from?
don't even know what his
The
name
researcher,
Oh.
right? That guy that's
Yeah.
in trouble now, right? Isn't
Oh
he?
no! That's Kang, and he was the villain in Ant-Man.
Oh, he's gone
not
now.
the same
And
one
a
in
villain in
Guardians.
real life.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that I know Disney's going down because they don't. They're gonna have to find somebody to replace him, and they
Again.
set it all up for him to be the next
Exactly.
major villain, Kang. So anyway, but yeah, I thought it was a decent film, a decent standalone film.
Okay.
But yeah, it's not looking promising for Marvel.
Right.
After this, and yeah, I don't know.
It was fun seeing the characters.
Yep.
Come on, like I mean, they were really good together. The humor was
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
The music was there. It was a little, I don't know. It was a little overdone at times, I feel like, but it was fair. It was pretty entertaining.
Right.
It had the dude from Firefly.
Yeah, Nathan Fillion made a really funny.
he
line.
was like this dude on another planet. And he had some really funny
That's
lines.
hilarious.
Yeah,
It was great to see him in
It
there.
was
I
genuinely funny at times.
Wow.
Which is more than you can
Interesting.
say for a lot.
more than you
Okay.
can say for the
Okay.
recent Marvel movies.
I'm down. All right.
Yeah. But yeah, and then the only other movie we saw was Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
We
Show
saw that
the
with our
parents
parents.
that.
And my mom was like, "Oh my gosh, she
She
thought
had never seen it?
no,
What?
both of my parents had never seen
Of
it.
course.
Yeah,
Of course.
right? But she was kind of liking it up until the monastery scene.
Yeah. Classic part
And then
where
my
people
mom
leave.
was like, she's like, "This is terrible," and
I
like
know.
she
That's
immediately
great.
like tuned out.
Why
after
it's
that.
one of the, I mean, dude, that is one of the highest movies, like in like the ensemble of movies that people
Yeah.
remember. Monty Python and the Holy Grail is like one
Oh
of the
yeah,
top
all
ones.
the lines from that movie.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Like in terms of cinema, like regardless of if you like it or not, 'cause
Yeah.
I don't think you guys like it.
I don't
but, like,
really like
it
it.
Not a
is
huge fan.
the like Mount Rushmore of like cinema in general. Like in
Yeah.
terms of what's your favorite comedy? A lot of people will say.
Oh,
Monty
yeah.
Python and the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like
It's
that
iconic.
humor, that
Iconic, for
humor.
sure.
Yep.
It's in like it's like the AMC would paint a mural of that kind of it. Like that's
Yep.
like the iconic.
Yep.
level.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, that is.
But yeah, that was the only other one.
What
we saw,
movies?
but-
What an interesting ensemble.
I know
of
it was
movies
a
you guys
weird
saw.
quite a
mix.
few,
Yeah, we
actually.
watched quite a few because we were there. We were in Colorado like 5 days, and we watched like a movie almost every night. So,
Okay, right.
but yeah, did you see any before we?
I just saw the
podcast
Mario
here?
movie again. Someone in the
Oh,
comments,
yeah,
a lot of people in the comments were saying I should see it again instead of whatever we watched.
Instead of
mad.
KGF 2, that back when we watched that.
They were mad at that.
Someone in the comments was like, "You should review Mario."
You
instead.
should review Mario, not KGF.
Well,
So I
you are
watched
reviewing
it again,
it.
nerd. How do you like that? So no,
yeah,
it was good.
the
no.
Mario review.
I want us to watch I've heard that there's this wild movie that we should totally watch. It'd be right up our alley. It's called. Have you heard of Skinamarink?
What?
What?
Okay,
No,
we
I
gotta
haven't.
watch.
I've
We
not
gotta
heard
try
of
that
that.
out one of these days. It's not rated. It's a horror movie.
Oh,
But dude, it's supposed to be like
we gotta
the weirdest
watch a
horror
few
movie.
scary movies. Like it's been a while since
Right.
we've seen a scary movie.
Apparently, in this movie, they never show a face.
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
It's like A24 weirdness. Like that's like so I'm in.
Oh,
When I heard
I'm
that-
in too.
So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know.
Okay,
I
I'll
just
check
heard
that out.
Yeah.
How new is?
I think
this
it's
movie?
foreign. I don't think it's American.
Okay.
Recent. It's like 2022. I think.
Wow.
Anyways,
Okay.
that's all I got though. But yeah,
We'll
we
have
should
to check
probably
that out.
Wrap this up.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, those are all the movies we saw. So.
Interesting movie.
Yep.
Yes.
Interesting movie.
Guys, we love you. Please subscribe. Please
Yes.
follow the Patreon.
Please
check
check
it
us out on Patreon. We'll have some TV show voting up soon.
Yes,
so
and please,
check that out.
like actually subscribe.
Oh yeah, to our
right.
channel. Cause
Yes, and please don't hate us. We're just we're trying to understand. Like, please don't.
we're still
yeah.
trying to understand the different
Right,
cultures.
we're
and
learning.
the-
We like to
the
learn.
culture clash too in a way.
Culture clash, guys.
So yeah.
All right.
But yeah, we'll see you next time.
Peace
See you
in
next
the
time.
Middle East.
Yeah, that's.